如果你当选美国总统，您对台湾会有什么样更进一步的协助？
I promise you I'll come back. Goodness knows what role that will be in.
历任美国国务卿被认为最支持台湾的蓬佩奥，27号出席全球台商论坛表示，防止中国共产党侵略台湾，最重要工作在今天的预防，要确保台湾捍卫安全及主权，准备好台湾的情报能力、军事能力等嚇阻能力。这不只是台湾、美国之间的事，周边国家与区域盟友都应该携手合作，风险必须预先遏阻。如果等危机发生时才开会因应，是大错特错。之前就得打好基础，包括台湾的经济与科技实力。
The hard work of preventing that moment is today. Sometimes all of us, even me, fall prey to the idea that we talk about the Chinese Communist Party as if it's 10 feet tall, as if somehow its rise is inevitable. Well, we all know that's not true.
蓬佩奥强调，自由国家应该反制中共，中国共产党的崛起不是不可避免的。许多证据反映中共的虚弱，例如中国经济，例如在香港审判90多岁的枢机主教陈日君，关押说真话的报人李志英。蓬佩奥重申，美国经济与国安的优先要务是与台湾建立外交关系。台湾不是中华人民共和国的一部分，美国早该承认中华民国是独立国家的现实。
One is free, one is not. One is an ally of the United States, the other is a repressive adversary. That getting our diplomatic ties was an imperative for Americans' economy and America's national security.
蓬佩奥演讲中表示，听到有些说法认为美国正在从区域撤军，也不像川普政府那样致力保护台湾，或美国对欧洲的安全承诺不断增加。他担心拜登对台湾会比以往更模糊。
I think these highlight the muddled and confusing statements by President Biden. I'm confused too. Concerning America's true commitment to Taiwan, the ambiguity that had been American policy has now become even more ambiguous.
蓬佩奥还批评拜登政府在印太经济架构中排除了台湾。
I frankly don't see a lot of economic potential. I see the Biden administration foolishly sidelining its 8th biggest trading partner, Taiwan, and they're doing so for political reasons.
新唐人亚太电视胡宗汉、张东旭，台湾高雄、台北报道。
日本前首相安倍晋三国葬礼将于27号举行，各国领导人陆续抵达日本。首相岸田文雄26号起展开3天吊唁外交，他曾强调展现守护民主决心。安倍重要遗产印太Quad 4方会谈成员国，美国由副总统贺锦丽出席，澳洲前后4任总理出席，包括现任艾班尼斯、前总理滕博尔、霍华德、艾波特、印度总理莫迪。美日韩3方关系升温下，韩国由总理参加，总计49位前任与现任国家领袖，大约来自218国与地区、国际机构等，约4300人出席，包括台湾代表团。共同社引述日本政府人士消息，在唱名各国代表献花时，将以台湾称呼。一般认为，日方是考量安倍深厚交情。中共派遣全国政协副主席万钢出席。学者暨民运人士王丹指出，万钢是层级低、没有实权的边缘人、工具人。中共如此羞辱日本，中日关系几近破裂。日本媒体也认为，这是中共不满日方对台湾的立场。安倍推动印太战略下，2大欧洲安全伙伴国英法由前首相梅伊、前总统沙科吉出席。G7 成员国加拿大总理杜鲁道因为飓风菲奥娜灾情，临时决定取消出席。有日媒报道，可能受到英国女王伊丽莎白2世上星期9月19号国葬时间接近的影响。曾有政府官员透露，不确定元首能否在近期接连出访2次。新唐人亚太电视胡宗汉、张东旭报道。
While demand for Rolex watches in the UK is constantly increasing, with customers willing to order in a year in advance, the rich in China are looking to sell their luxury items they have bought. A spokesperson for the Swiss company said that prices of Rolex watches in the UK increased 5% on average since the start of September 1st. The Rolex Submariner now increases to $8,600, while the GMT Master 2 costs more than $10,300. According to the trade magazine Watch Pro, this increase reflects the slide of the British pound against the US dollar over the past several months. As the pound weakens, the prices of Rolex watches in the UK can become cheaper than in other markets. Despite higher prices, Rolex has not lost its niche market at all. According to the Business of Fashion, Rolex is considered the largest Swiss luxury watch brand. With annual sales of about $8.2 billion, Rolex has a market share of nearly 29%. Demand for Rolex watches continues to outstrip the supply, and most customers are unable to purchase the watches directly. Instead, they must register with authorized dealers to be placed on a waiting list. The waiting time could be months or even years. Meanwhile, the rich Chinese people are selling their Rolex for money as the mainland economy is struggling. Unlike most other countries, the secondhand market in China is very downbeat for luxury goods. For example, the price of Rolex Submariners in China has dropped 46% this year, although this model soared 240% last year. One of the reasons, according to SCMP, is that most of China's urban population continues to face strict COVID lockdown measures, so the secondhand market for luxury goods has become one of the most affected. Prices of used luxury items have dropped rapidly. Even the wealthy Chinese are beginning to cut back on their discretionary spending. A lot of people are selling Rolex watches as well as Hermes bags to raise cash. This trend was completely the opposite at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. At that time, China's affluent customers seemed to enjoy spending on luxury items despite limited international travel. Not only Rolex, but even luxury bag dealers in Shanghai and Hangzhou have reportedly cut the price of classics such as Hermes Birkin bags. James Wang is a seller of secondhand luxury watches in Nanjing City. He said the boom time is over. We are entering a correction period that could last for a long time. The dealer said that this is the first time he has seen the most significant decline in his 25 years living in China.
下午3时45分，习近平等领导同志来到北京展览馆，走进展厅参观展览。展览设序厅、中央综合展区、地方展区、展望展区、室外展区和互动展区6个展区，面积超过3万平方米，运用图片、实物、模型等6000多项展览要素，角度丰富，内涵饱满。展览紧扣奋进新时代这一主题，以党的18大以来，以习近平同志为核心的党中央治国理政为主线，聚焦新时代10年党和国家事业的伟大成就、伟大变革，既展现事业发展的新局新貌，又揭示变革背后的力量和动能，既展现新时代中国共产党人的政治引领、思想指引，又反映广大人民群众团结一心、干事创业的良好风貌，展示我国科技水平和制造能力跃升的自主研发关键产品实物模型，反映功勋荣誉表彰体系日益丰富完备的勋章奖章，国家级重大出版项目复兴文库，生动再现脱贫攻坚和抗击新冠肺炎疫情历史进程的实物、图表、图片，5G 协同天空地一体化生态环境立体遥感监测体系模拟沙盘，武器装备模型，呈现总体国家安全观深刻内涵、党内法规制度建设成果的展板实物，彰显京津冀协同发展成就的立体电子地图，展现规划建设、轨道交通和科技创新等方面亮点成果的粤港澳大湾区沙盘，一件件实物模型，一段段生动视频，一幅幅图片图表，吸引了习近平等领导同志的目光。他们不时驻足观看，听取讲解，询问有关情况。在京中共中央政治局委员、中央书记处书记、全国人大常委会副委员长、 国务委员、最高人民法院院长、最高人民检察院检察长、全国政协副主席以及中央军委委员等参观了展览。
美国国务院发言人普莱斯26号面对关于一中政策的提问时，罕见地说出美国对台湾的主权问题没有采取立场，并强调美国的一中政策没有改变。
Very basically, we don't take a position on sovereignty, but our One China policy has not changed. That is a position we made very clear in public. It is a position that Secretary Blinken made very clear in private to Wang Yi when he met with him on Friday.
自从美国与中华民国断交以后，美国政府对台湾主权的问题就一直是采取不持任何立场的政策，但行政官员很少在公开场合明确发表这类言论。根据美国官方记录，近期有做出相关表态的官员是2021年的时任国防部发言人科比，他在10月的记者会上提到类似的论述。
We act in accordance with the One China policy, and we've long abided by that policy, and it's distinct from Beijing's One China principle, under which the Chinese Communist Party asserts sovereignty over Taiwan. We take no position over the sovereignty of Taiwan, on sovereignty over Taiwan.
而近年另一位有类似言论的官员，则是川普政府时期的国务院亚太驻青史达伟。2020年8月，史达伟在美国传统基金会举办的视讯论坛中，介绍了1982年时任美国总统雷根对台湾提出6项保证的相关解密电报，其中的第5项便是美国并未同意就台湾主权采取任何立场。
It is important to review history like this because Beijing has a habit of distorting it. So we should go back and consult the facts as often as we're able. Those facts were clear, and they're still clear. The U.S. has long had a One China policy. This is distinct from China's One China or Beijing's One China principle, under which the Chinese Communist Party asserts sovereignty over Taiwan. The U.S. takes no position on sovereignty over Taiwan.
新唐人亚太电视李义宏综合报道。